Hi there, you're very welcome to Bray Wanderers Club Call once again. And today I'm delighted to welcome staunch Bray Wanderers supporters for many years, Joe Bollard. And Joe, as most people will know, doesn't have any sight, but loves his football nonetheless. Joe, you were born in Ireland, but you moved at an early age to Liverpool.
Yeah, well, yes, I lost my sight when I was 2, and the whole family emigrated to Liverpool, and we moved lived in a district of Liverpool called Everton, and that's where I got my love for football, because anyone who lives in Everton is an Everton fanatic. Other than that, they're the neighbour's child. But we started going to matches. My brothers started bringing me to matches, even though I couldn't see it. They'd sit beside me and tell me what was going on. And I really got involved, and I go jumping up and down and shouting like the rest of them. But I then started going to some of the away matches again. And eventually, one of the managers of Everton at the time was Cliff Britton. And he heard of me when I was coming out of the ground one day with my brother. And he said to me, "Are you totally blind?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, what do you come to the matches for?" I said, "To enjoy them. My brother tells me what's happening." And he said, "Do you come to all the home games?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I'll be in touch with you during the week." And during the week, he sent me 2 vouchers that would allow me to go into the home games for free. And he said, "Not only that, we're coming to see you in your house." And himself, Peter Farrell, who was captain of Everton at the time, Tommy Eglinton and Jimmy O'Neill, they came to the house. There was great excitement in the street when the Everton stars came. And then I'm a musician and have been all my life. And he said, "If the team ever get to Wembley, we'll bring you on the team bus to play the accordion on the way down." Unfortunately, we didn't get to Wembley, but I got a love for football. I have to say I'm a staunch Everton supporter, but I just love all sorts of football as well.
You eventually came back to Bray when you were, not to Bray, you came back to Ireland when you were 22,
yeah.
And I think you ended up in Mayo.
Yeah.
When did you get back to Bray?
Well, I was working for a band in Mayo for 7 years, and eventually I got married, and we had a couple of youngsters, and I said, "This is not the life for a married man, travelling around the world with a band." So I decided that we'd move up to Dublin. I took a risk. I took a bull by the horn and moved up to live with my wife's sister for a couple of months while I looked around for not only for work but somewhere to live. And eventually I got a job in what was then a very well-known pub, the Silver Tassie in Loughlinstown, and I got there. And when I got there, the owner said to me, "Look, you don't have to be running in and out to Dublin every night. Come on, we'll bring you, find you a place." And they found us a place in Bray, and I've been here ever since, and I've loved it. I wouldn't move out of it now.
And your support for Bray Wanderers really began in 1985 when Bray were elected onto the League of Ireland,
yes.
And they set up the First Division.
Thrilled with that, I was delighted, and myself and my sons, and we came to the first match against Longford, which we lost, and but we never lost a match after that, and we had great times singing, and I think somewhere along the line I even wrote a song for Bray Wanderers, and then I started going up and down the country with them all over the place. And of course, the joy of it all was when, was it 1990? We got to the cup final, 32,000 at Lansdowne Road for that match. We beat St. Francis 3-0. What a joy that was that day.
And you wrote the song for that cup final.
I did, yeah.
And I can tell you, I have that tape at home, the reel-to-reel tape, Joe, at home.
Oh.
I must play it for you. Well, I don't know how I'm going to play it, I wouldn't know how to play it now.
Yeah.
Well, that was the cup final song for
Yeah.
1990.
It was, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can I take you on a bit now, Joe, to
Yeah.
1989, the trip to Cork?
The trip to
The
Cork.
Gandhi train.
That was in the cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we had a great time down there in Cork, and that was one of the few occasions also when my wife came to the match as well. But we had a great time down there in Cork. Yes, that was good.
And you know why it was called the Gandhi train? Because first of all, there were 2 coaches booked, the next day there was 3, and then there was 4, and then there was something like 12.
Yeah.
And what a massive crowd was in Cork for that trip. Amazing day it was.
The supporters hired out a train, and it was a huge long train going over, and we had a great time on it, going and coming back as well.
Joe, you and I could talk here for hours about Bray Wanderers and about Everton, of course.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, time has caught up with us. We can't go on any longer. Hopefully, sometime again we'll sit down and we'll talk again.
Yeah.
But for now, Joe Bollard, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks a million. God bless you, Vincent.